Well, it's a little hard to get at because Steven parked his Envoy in the way. But we derbied this piece of junk Buick again. And it went half decent, you know, guys. The back end of this thing held up much, much better than I thought it was going to. I didn't use it a whole lot. I felt like I was dragging the rear end. But honestly, for a 80s GM, the back end of this did much, much better than I thought. Like, I imagine if I took a good square shot from a good built car that this thing would not have stood a chance. And I did feel like I was dragging the rear end most of the derby, but that's probably because the track was so muddy and so uneven and all over the place. Now, we went there with no tubes, nothing, just tires. And on the front, we actually went there with no doubles and these giant, giant tires. So how did my derby go? Well, first off, driving up to Tech, my motor mount failed. So I quickly... Oh, did it rip it all apart? It did. Oh, that's the bumper shock. The bumper shock is into my motor mount. Anyway, I seat belted down the motor because the motor was lifting so high that it was coming almost out of the motor, out of the engine bay. So we just seat belted down the motor and went. So this Buick here has been a really good Buick overall. The only problem that this Buick's been having is it likes catching on fire. So it caught on fire for me twice in Listowel, and it caught on fire for me in Dundalk. Believe it or not, it actually ran and drove to where it's sitting right now. So it's not technically dead, but when I caught on fire, I knew that I was losing power because the 3.8 really doesn't like heat. So I started driving more aggressively with the front, and as you can tell by what I just found out, that the motor mount is into the the bumper shock is into the transmission wiring loom and the starter wiring loom, that I maybe hit people a little too hard, but that's okay. I'm not upset about that. They shouldn't be upset about that. What I think took me out is I lost the mass airflow sensor. And where is it? I don't know. I don't know where it is. It's not here, guys. See? It's not there. So this thing here was not liking running without it. But it did get me good enough to a 3rd place. And Dundalk's one of those shows that it doesn't really pay a whole lot. I think 1st place was $200, but Dundalk is one of those ones where you go to with your biggest pile of junk and it's nothing but a good time. It is one of those shows where you go there with a smile, you tech with a smile, you derby with a smile. The figure 8 races are some of the most contact-ridden figure 8 races I've ever seen, and it's how the derby world should be. It's like going back in time when you go to Dundalk. Somebody was asking me about rules, and I said, don't worry about it. It's Dundalk. But it's such a fun derby, and it makes me feel like the old days where nobody gives a crap about the money, nobody gives a crap about saving their cars. And that's something I really miss about this. Like, the whole derby community has become who can weld more, and I get it. You know what, the rules are there to be interpreted. And I'm guilty of it just as much as the next guy, going to a derby with an overbuilt car, with a big prize money. But for me, I love taking these 90s cars with nothing done to it and going and having fun and not caring about the money. The drama is always going to be there. You can't get away from the drama. But I find that these small town shows, there's still drama, but it's not about overbuilt cars. It's really not. It's just about family drama. I don't know. It's a different type of drama. Like, a lot of these big shows, there's fights in the stands. People are arguing with the promoters. Dundalk, nobody argued with the fair board. Nobody. When people got their $200 payouts, they were extremely happy. I think that the figure 8 race in there, everybody had a great time. The car counts are suffering, but everywhere the car counts are suffering. I actually thought Dundalk was pretty good this year for the amount of cars they had. They had 4 heats of figure 8. And then they had like an 8 or 10 car mini feature, which I found to be pretty damn good. But, I don't know. I like the hometown feel. I like the nostalgic feel of going there. That's like another reason why I like going to Listowel. Because Listowel is like walking back in time. It's like going into Mennonite country, right? I find there's no drama. I find there's no fighting. That's not true. List Tool's starting to get more and more drama every year, but I don't know, guys. I got into this sport quite late. I think I started derbying in like 2010. But I could just imagine what it was like in the early 2000s. And that's what this car made me feel. I felt like I was derbying in the past. I felt like where I took this car, which was List Tool in Dundalk, this car felt like it was built for those tracks. There are the old school 90s rules where you can't change nothing. There are the old school rules where little things can pass, like they really don't care about this, they really don't care about that, but there was no drama, there was no fighting, there was no arguing. And that's what I think that this car is good for. I think it's good to feel like I can go back in time with a car from the 80s. Like if I bought a Camry there, maybe I'd be a little bit more upset because of a $200 payout when I'm paying almost $1,000 for a Camry now. But for this car here, I think I paid $350 for it. And then I took it to List Tool, came second, took it to Dundalk, came third. I didn't win either event. But honestly, I feel like I won it because of how it made me feel on the inside. It made me feel like I was welcome, and it made me feel like I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. You guys in the comments, tell me how that would make you feel. Like, the derby world has gotten to be very crazy, and I find a lot of the shows these days is how much money you can spend to win. And I get it. Some of these derby cars look beautiful. Like when I look at Blizzard Bash and Bash for Cash, even a lot of the cars at Spinning Wheels last year in Mini Meltdown, some of these cars are beautiful, and like you want to put them in car shows because of how clean the lines are, how clean the builds are, clean the rims, the rear ends, the wiring setup, the engines, the everything. It looks so clean. They look like they should be in a car show. Whatever happened to the cars that you drive to the event, you smash out the windows, and then you just leave them at the event, and then you go home at the end of the day, and then a local scrap guy comes and picks them up? When I got in, the first derby I did when I was 17, and I traded a case of beer for a 95 Cutlass Supreme, and I derbied it. And after the derby, the car was still good. I just left it at the track, and a scrap guy came and picked it up. And this is what this car made me feel. This car made me feel like I went back in time to one of my very first derbies when I was 17. So, I don't know, guys. Did it do great? No. Would I run another one in a stock class in the middle of nowhere? Yeah. Would I take it to a pro show? No. Could this car be competitive? With the right rule set, it could be competitive. But in that retrospect, anything can become competitive with the right rule set. You could turn a Ford Focus into a competitive car with the right rule set. So, I don't know, guys. I had a great time. I really enjoyed that you guys watch this with me. I really enjoyed that you watch me guys go off some an ADHD tangent right there. So thanks for watching, guys. The car's junk. It cannot be run again by me. Please, Zach, do not run this car again. What we're going to be taking off of this car in the stripping process is my fuel lines, my battery cables, my fuel tank, my battery box. We're going to be saving the coil packs because I actually took that off one of my 3100 motors. Going to be saving the spark plug wires because those actually look pretty nice. And we're going to be saving the spindles and axles out of this. And the reason for that is, let me show you. So the H-body spindles out of this old 87 LeSabre with these 3800 axles will bolt right into a car like this. This is like a 05, 06 Impala, and it's got aluminum spindles and a 3800. So these 38 axles, spindles, everything will go right into this and make this car more competitive. Not super competitive, but more competitive. So before you guys get rid of any parts when you scrap a car, do a little bit of research and see what parts can swap from car A to car B. Even though there is almost a 20-year gap between these two cars, the parts will unbolt and re-bolt into that. No modifications, no nothing. So that's why we're going to be taking this thing apart, and that's why I actually really wanted to buy this car when it came up, is because of those spindles. Because I do have a couple sets, but it doesn't hurt to have an extra set. So thanks for watching, guys. The Buick needs to be scrapped. The Buick really does need to be scrapped. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care.